Order, convening, I think was the word that we came up with earlier. And so the powerful rules chairman, Senator Matt Brass, is going to open us up in prayer. Number 5.
Thank you. We'll go to the one that's way more powerful than me, our Father God. So if you'll join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly God, thank you for this day and thank you for this beautiful sunshine. And just thank you for helping put us in a position to where we can help your people and just help give us wisdom and guidance and do everything in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Chairman. We have one bill today, but before we do that, there were a couple of folks who were not here last time, and we did go around and introduce ourselves, and just briefly, or not so briefly, Senator Orrock. So otherwise, we're going to start here with Senator Halpern here. If she was not here, just tell us about yourself real quickly, and you're on mic number 1?
2.
Number 2.
Oh, who starts? Okay,
We'll go this way. Hello, Senator Sonia Halpern. I represent District 39, which is right here in Fulton County, crosses across neighborhoods in 5 cities, north to south district. I am in my 2nd term and excited to be once again on the Health and Human Services Committee.
And we're excited to have you. Now, Senator Orrock, we're actually in your district. Am I correct?
That is correct, and Cabbagetown is very nearby.
Yes, it is.
As you well know. Good afternoon, and I'm Nan Orrock, State Senator of District 36, Atlanta, and parts of East Point, College Park, and Hapeville. I apologize, I seldom miss one of these meetings, as you know, but we were in a 2-hour.
Yes.
There was, we were in a very illuminating 2-hour meeting with our joint committees of K-12 education and higher ed. So we hated to miss, we wish we could have been in 2 places at once. Thank you.
We certainly appreciate that. And we're going around to the quadruple new father. So, all right, Senator Bo Hatchett is number 9.
Yeah, I have 4 girls, and my younger brother actually calls me the quad father now.
Of that, that's the new name, quad father.
Yeah, but-
That's great. All right.
Yeah, but I, Senator Bo Hatchett, District 50. I've got 9 counties in Northeast Georgia. This is my 2nd session on this committee. I really enjoy serving. My father is a OBGYN, has been in Habersham County for the last 30 years, and just am excited to serve again. Thank you.
Thank you, Quad Father. So I think Senator or Chairman Larry Walker was a little bit late, didn't get to introduce himself last time. The distinguished Chairman from Middle Georgia Insurance Committee, you're on mic number 11, maybe?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm glad to hear the quad father maybe he's getting a discount on his OBGYN services, I hope. Volume and family discount. But I'm Larry Walker. I represent Senate District 20, which is 8 counties across Middle Georgia. I chair the Insurance and Labor Committee in the Senate, and have been fortunate to serve on this committee for a number of years. And it's always interesting, and it's things we do in this committee are, have an impact on most all Georgians, so it's important work. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. And we have one bill today, which sort of leads to what Chairman Walker says. It does have effect on, I think, everyone in this room and all across the state of Georgia. Chairman Huffstetler has a bill, Senate Bill 47. Chairman Huffstetler, would you like to, what you do there or this podium, whichever. Why don't you go to the middle, whichever you want to do, middle chair here or up front. That may be a little bit easier. Put you in the hot seat. That's going to be witness number 2, and the floor is yours. Let's make sure the committee and everyone is on the right bill. It's been simplified, and I like the way it's been simplified, but we're on, correct me if I'm wrong, LC 339340S.
Correct. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Make sure I've got the right one here. Yeah, it was a little bit wordy, and somebody on the second floor had an idea that they should whittle it down a little bit and say the same thing I'm saying in much less words, so I didn't disagree with that.
Less is always better, right? There you
Yeah.
go.
There's been different bills about vaping, and this is probably the simplest one I've ever presented, but they've all gotten different issues involved in them that maybe bogged them down. This one's simply just the Smoke-Free Act of 2005. It just simply adds it to that so that they would be categorized as being in public places, that they would be included the same as cigarettes and any other tobacco products. This applies to enclosed public spaces like government buildings, and I apologize, I've got a little bit of a cold today, but I'll try to talk quick. And so the Department of Public Health brought this to us to update the Smoke-Free Air Act to bring parity to the law to treat vaping and traditional tobacco smoking the same. And these emit not just water vapor, but they've got aerosol in them that has ultrafine particles and low levels of some toxins that have been known to cause cancer, and they can certainly exacerbate respiratory conditions like asthma. They can constrict arteries and have some health risk, and so people shouldn't be expected to have to breathe these in a public space. You can argue which one's safer or not, but they all have problems that they bring about, and so this would mean that people wouldn't be forced to breathe this in. And I know there's some double booking of healthcare meetings today. I think the House has got about 3 committees over there now or something that deal with health, so people are spread out, but I'll just quickly go over the groups that support this. The American Academy of Pediatrics, the Georgia chapter, the Georgia Center for Oncology Research and Education, Georgians for a Healthy Future, Medical Association of Georgia, Emory University, Georgia Public Health Association, Kaiser, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, Grady Hospital, and Voices for Georgia's Children all support this bill. I think it's pretty simple in just putting them in that category and not doing anything else, but with that, I'm open for any questions.
So let's do this. Let's see if the committee has any questions. We have, I think, 5 people that signed up for public testimony. Would like to let them hear their voices. The will of the committee is that we can do questions now or do it after some of the experts have spoken. What would y'all like? The latter. Senator Orrock rules today with the latter. How about that? Okay, so let's go with Andy Lord. Says College of Physicians. I presume that's American College of Physicians, ACP. And I know that Mr. Lord is going to be brief, and everybody's testimony is going to be brief. We're not going to put a timer on today. You're going to be on the honor system. All righty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, Andy Lord with the American College of Physicians, also with the Georgia Society.
Can you get that mic up there a little bit closer, maybe? Is it?
Is that any better?
No, it doesn't seem to be on. Huh? Yeah, no, it's
All right.
on. It's on. Okay.
Yeah, Andy Lord, American College of Physicians, and the Georgia Society of Clinical Oncology. May be a little bit hot now on this mic. So very proud to have worked years ago in '05 in passing the original smoke-free air law, and very happy to be here today to see an extension of that law where we are simply updating our code, as Chairman Huffstetler said, to reflect a new product that's on the market now that was not on the market then, and the equalization that the Chairman referenced is one that we are in agreement with. So we thank Chairman Huffstetler for bringing the bill, and would like to add to the list that Senator Huffstetler read, again, the Georgia Society of Clinical Oncology and the American College of Physicians to the support list. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lord. Ever so brief. Lynn Durham with Georgia Corps, and Laura Colbert's after that. So if we can get in the queue, Robert Wiskin after that, and Rick Ward.
Good
Ms. Durham?
afternoon. Thank you. I'm Lynn Durham, President and CEO of Georgia Corps, the Georgia Center for Oncology Research and Education. And what we do is try to advance cancer research and through partnership and innovation. So just want to add my voice and say we're very concerned about vaping and the impact and the prevalence of vaping that's happening now, especially in our high school students. So we very much support this legislation. Want to just register that with you. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Chairman? Got it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lynn, is there any research out there around, is vaping better than regular cigarettes or regular pipe smoking, cigars, or is there not enough data out there?
Right.
Just kind of curious on.
To my understanding, there's not enough data, except that, of course, vaping doesn't have tar, so that's one good thing, I guess, about vaping, but it does have formaldehyde and other chemicals.
Wow, okay.
Yes, formaldehyde is one of them. So there are chemicals within those cartridges that you are breathing in. So the
Okay.
long-term impact isn't known yet, but we're very
Right.
concerned about it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions for the speaker? If not, Laura Colbert, Georgians for a Healthy Future.
Thank you, Chairman. As Chairman Watson said, I'm Laura Colbert with Georgians for a Healthy Future. We similarly support the bill. Vaping is especially prevalent among young people, and we want to make sure that the opportunities to use these products are limited, especially in indoor areas. Thank you so much.
And Robert Wiskin, Georgia Chapter of American Academy of Pediatrics.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm Bob Wiskin. I'm a pediatrician practicing in Atlanta. I'm speaking on behalf of the Georgia AAP, the pediatricians around the state, and the children that we care for in support of this legislation. Smoking and exposure to smoke, we all know about secondhand exposure, but there's also third-hand exposure, which is the smoke that lasts in structures, in buildings, in furniture, in cars. So the children are exposed to smoke in that way as well. You had asked earlier about the known effects of vaping versus cigarette smoking. The more that we know about vaping, the less good it appears to be. The more data shows up that there are health effects similar to smoking. With the advent of vaping, smoking has been reduced among children, but vaping has become very prevalent. I talk to teenagers in my practice every day about vaping. Recent studies have estimated that over 20% of high school students vape on a regular basis. And one concern that this legislation would address would be the social norming of vaping, that the more that children and young teens see other people vaping, the more that they will think that it is something normal for them to do. So by eliminating it from public spaces, we make it less prevalent and it becomes less attractive to them. Thank you.
That's a good point. Any questions for the speaker? Thank you so much, Dr. Wiskin. Rick Ward, did you speaking, or is that you were speaking for him?
Dr. Wiskin spoke for
me. I'm sorry, he spoke for you. Gotcha. I should have said that. Anybody with any questions? Chairman number 12.
Question I had, I guess it's for the author. You, in the substitute, we redefine what tobacco product is, but I don't think it's in your original bill. Do you know what the intent is with that? Are we changing the definition of tobacco the way it's currently read in Georgia law?
Well, we can also refer to Megan Andrews here from the Department of Public Health, but we're basically, rather than doing it the way I was doing, was just including it under those products of the that vaping that does have nicotine in it does come under that category of things that shouldn't be smoked. And you know, I didn't talk about diacetyl, which can give you the popcorn lung, or pulegone. There's a lot of toxins in there. I'm not really trying to argue that point. I'm just simply saying let's include them in things that people are protected from, that they don't want to have to inhale. You know, this isn't stopping anybody from doing it, but they can't do it in a public place where other people are exposed to it.
So that may not have been a direct answer. Ms. Andrews, who is with Department of Public Health and is a lawyer too, we won't hold that against her, but this section that our legal scholar on our committee raised, that I guess you're talking about line 14, tobacco product, has to do with the meaning as the federal law. Is that correct?
Yes,
So
and
help us.
Betsy Howerton, your real attorney, is also here to answer that question if you do have.
Forgot about Betsy, certainly the expert of us all. That's it, has the final say. But if Ms. Andrews can give us the light version and Betsy can give us the heavy version here.
Exactly. So there's a provision in the Smoke-Free Air Act that creates an exception for in a place where they manufacture tobacco products. So like a factory where they're making vapes or they're making cigarettes, that allows them to test those products in those facilities. So in this code section, there was no definition of tobacco product. That kind of came to light when we were going through it. So Betsy carefully crafted a definition that is in line with federal standards to make sure there's consistency in the application of that exception.
Ms. Howerton, you got anything to add to that, or?
No, that was exactly right. We were basically just trying to ensure that this version of the bill is legally the same as the previous version. So to do that, we had to kind of shoehorn in some of the exceptions, and so we did it through this definition.
Does that answer your question? Okay, all right. Thank you. Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, you're good.
Thanks so much. Any other questions? We've got several questions here. I'm going to go with the minority leader down there. Senator Butler, you're on number 11 or 10? 10?
Yeah. It's not a question, Mr. Chairman, thank you. It's the presenter, the pediatrician, mentioned secondhand smoke, which I had been thinking about, because I was exposed to vaping and secondhand smoke, and it does have an effect. I'm asthmatic, and within 5 minutes, I could tell the difference of the where I was.
From an irritative standpoint, gotcha. Triggered you. All right. Thank you
It
for
did
sharing that.
trigger my trigger.
Senator Hodges, he's had a question from the very beginning, so he's going to jump to the front of the line. I'm sorry. You're number 8.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question is simple. I'm not a smoker, never been a smoker, and certainly not a vapor, so I don't know the answer. Is there any proper medical use for a vaping device? And if so, would this bill interfere with the proper medical use of a vaping device? I mean, the bill itself mentions lighted tobacco products, so I would assume you would only be talking about a vaping device that carried tobacco. But I don't know. Is there any medical use for a vaping device?
I may be able to help with that. I don't think there is, but I think I forgot our researcher here from Senate Research is also a lawyer, and so she points out that a tobacco product, in their definition, must not be more concomitation with any article. Am I reading the right line?
Yeah.
No, this one.
Yeah, so the term tobacco product does not mean any article that is a drug, device, or combination product or food. So when it's drug, if you look at the definition under federal law for drug, it includes medical purposes type of usages, or if it's in food, those type of.
So it does not mean anything they're
Yeah,
using a
so
drug or
it
device.
wouldn't apply to that.
So
It's
those would
already
be
been-
excluded. Was that accurate? Okay. All right. That's the way I understand it. Does that answer your question? Senator Hatchett, number 9?
9. I had a similar question to Senator Hodges because, having kids, you have these vaporizers that deliver albuterol and other type things, which I
Right.
think technically could fall underneath the.
So
a
tobacco
vaping
product does not mean an article that is a drug, device, combination product, or food, so it's
But-
found under relevant federal laws. I got you.
But I looked at the definition of vapor product in this code section 1612-170, and it's limited to nicotine. And so my question would be if there are other vaping devices that don't have nicotine that could potentially cause an asthmatic reaction like Madam Minority Leader was bringing up a second ago. And if that would not be included in this, it has to have nicotine to be excluded in this bill. Is that right?
Well, I'll again defer to Megan Andrews on this, but I also know that the senator to the left of me has another bill that might deal with that. So.
Okay. That makes sense.
All right. Okay.
I'll withdraw my questions.
All righty. Any other questions or concerns? Chairman Hufstedler, do you have anything further to add, a wrap-up comment, or? anything
No,
further?
I mean, it's, the data is real clear that these ultrafine particles can exacerbate respiratory conditions like asthma and constrict arteries. And so I'm just simply trying to protect people from having to be exposed to it in a public place. I'm not saying you can do it, you can't do it, just don't expose other people to it. And that's really a simple bill, I think.
All right, sounds good. I'll entertain any motions that we may have. Senator Orrock.
Proper time, I'd like to make a motion to do pass.
All right, we have a do.
SB 47, by substitute.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second? A second, Senator Halpern. Any further discussion? All those in favor, let's raise our hand because it's going to be easier counting that way. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Or left hand, I guess, counts too. All right, Senator Lucas is voting or not voting? If you're sitting there, you got to be voting.
Yes, well, Mr. Chairman, we can lose some tax dollars.
All right, so all those opposed? Senator Lucas, you got to vote one way or the other, baby, or you got to get up and leave.
Well, I ain't gonna leave.
Okay, so you'll be out of order. We'll take that up the whole body of the Senate, maybe. But anyway, was that a for or yes?
I vote yes.
Yes, there we go. All right, there we go. It's unanimous. All right, thank you. All right, any further discussion for the meeting? All right. We'll come back. Thank you so much, and meeting's adjourned.